Well, hello there. Yes, it's time for another episode of the Nailsin Ratings. And we'll be talking about, well, what else? The Flash. So the second episode of Season 5 came about. It was called Block, after the latest little supervillain they had for the show. She could make blocks and trap people in them and squish people, which she did to this arms dealer. Squished him down to a little cube of meat. I know it's disgusting, but I don't know. I got a chuckle out of it. And they're continuing on with yet again another villain that seems to be recurring and behind everything, or has a mission of his own, or what have you, with this Cicada character. It is somewhat different in that I don't think there's any master plot. It doesn't seem to be, as this Cicada guy just seems bent on killing all these villains for whatever reason. I assume we'll find out as the story unfolds. He's not a speedster, and he's not, like I said, has a master plan like the Thinker did. So a little bit different than previous seasons, and but it may be a little bit too late, because I think there's a lot of repetition in The Flash, and that was its weakest point, and repetition kills shows all the time. Just look at The Walking Dead. And unlike The Walking Dead, The Flash is working to improve itself, but it may be too little too late, as the ratings have not been so great this season. It's been pretty bad. Despite good performances, this is a good cast, and I still maintain that this is the best of the CW superhero shows. And this episode had its charm. I don't know that it was as good as the previous one, but it continues the camaraderie amongst its cast, and of course that they're good at developing the relationship between Barry Allen and his daughter. And the Nora, it comes a bit overbearing with her goofiness and trying to be silly and eccentric and what have you, and it's dangerously annoying. and you might want to rein some of that in. But overall, it works within the continuity of the series, in that they're dealing with this mystery that began with the series beginning with, the Flash disappears in the future and apparently never returns. And boy, does this refer to the crisis and all that sort of thing. And it could be that they will deal with that in the Elseworlds crossover that they have planned for their CW shows. Meanwhile, other things that kind of get overplayed is Cisco still depressed over his breakup with Gypsy, and then Ralph trying to help him out. And there's some laughs in it, but then other scenes are just too silly and forced. I want to tap that down too. I would think the most obvious thing would be a romance between Cisco and Caitlin. I mean, they're young, they're pretty people, they've been together for years now. What's the problem? So, I would think that would be the obvious plot point here, but I don't know. And then, of course, the ongoing mystery of where's her father. I would have thought, the obvious thing, the Cicada is her father, but that guy looks to be too young to have been her father. So I don't know what that's about and where they're going with that, but of course we will find out. Yes, we will. So, all in all, good. More of the same, and again, repetition, yes, but the formulas and whatnot. We rotate the chairs, hopefully not the deck chairs. You can make it work and flow, and I'm biased because I really do enjoy this cast and the show, even though I'm very much aware of its weaknesses. But it is following a somewhat different path than the previous templates that it kept repeating over and over in the earlier seasons. But hopefully it'll work out. However, if it's not looking great and they can think of a way to wrap up the show, that's not entirely a bad idea. I mean, 5 seasons is pretty good, especially in today's competitive television world because there's just so many options. So if you can get 5 seasons under your belt, that's pretty good, and that's something to be proud of. And they might be thinking of that, and that they might need to move on to newer shows and maybe retire these original ones. With Elseworlds, we already know they're going to introduce Batwoman, and there's talk that Batwoman would get her own TV series spinning out of this thing, perhaps in the next season. And there's a new rumor that perhaps there could be a Superman show. Now, boy, I'm hoping this isn't just a rumor, because CW, you need to go with this with everything you got and set that up. They already have Tyler Hoechlin as Superman. He's a little short, but personality-wise, I think he pulled it off, and he did kind of... There seems to be this desire for the Christopher Reeve model, and I think at least at what he was allowed to do in the Supergirl series was closer than what they were allowing Henry Cavill to do, or Cavill, I'm sorry, in the movies. I think Cavill could pull that off. It's just an actor can only do what they give him in the script. So Hoechlin, I guess, got the better deal out of that. And Superman series is what I think people really want. I'm tired of Superman shows without Superman, and I'm tired of Batman shows without Batman. Doesn't mean a Batwoman show wouldn't work. Go ahead. But sooner or later, you need to get a Batman show. It's just... which would be even cheaper to do, I would think, than a Superman show. But if Superman's what we get first, I'm all for it. The way the strange gender politics and identity politics are these days, it's amazing it's even being considered, because, that's stepping all over Supergirl. Well, Supergirl has had a good run here. And so I'm thinking if they're thinking of the shows have had their run and they retire them to bring in new shows, then Superman could be one of those shows. And I'm hoping to see it. And done right, done well, and not lecturing people on all the preachy crap that these shows are dragged down with. And not just the fact that they're there, but that it sucks all the oxygen out of the room for ideas, plot, and character development, and all you get is campaign commercials and lectures, which is what they've done to Supergirl. If that's all they're going to do to Superman, then yeah, don't bother. But if we could just get your basic Superman plot and adventure stories, and let him have his own stories. They've been giving Supergirl a bunch of retread Superman stories without using any of her own. But, I guess World Killer, even though that wasn't World Killer, was it? That's a Supergirl story. But anyway, this was supposed to be a Flash review. So, Flash, 4 stars for the Flash block. It had some interesting moments, and overall, the formula of the show, I think, works. But it may need to just go ahead and give the Flash a good ending. And the CW could still have a future without him, even though right now he is the best of the CW superhero shows. So if they introduce Superman, he could probably easily fill those shoes. So come on, CW, let's do the Superman show. Before Tyler has to move on to something else or gets too old, All right, thanks for listening and watching. And hey, why not like and subscribe? And I'll do more of these videos for you. Yes, for you. And hey, while you're here, check out that link description below for my mini stores that have plenty of goodies for you.